friends. It is I, Alphinius Goo, in my car, because where we are with the booth in Comic-Con is too far to get the internet the way it needs to work. So for us to be able to stream well, right? So this is why I'm here right now. Welcome to Goo Morning, Zyathé. Are you there, Camera-Mendy?
Hello, I am here.
Yes, we are live from the parking lot of Comic-Con, which is not nearly so much fun. Camera-Mendy, are you going to show some pictures?
I'm actually at my house in my bathrobe.
Oh, that people don't need to know that. That's a TMI. TMI.
Okay, yes, we're gonna show some pictures, guys. Hold on one second.
So listen, while she's showing the pictures, we're excited for the show today. We got a lot of stuff we're gonna talk about. We're gonna put up some cool monsters. We're gonna finally talk about the Myruun. Sorry, that took us a little bit of time, right? We're going to do a little tour and discuss the world, right? In particular, we're gonna talk about the continent of Nordrukka, yes, and the Orachanoids that abide there, yes, and what they are doing. We're gonna have Marvelous AJ on the stream today, so we're gonna talk to him, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, we're going to be doing Comic-Con all day today, which is really cool. Yes, we also are going to start doing something with this stream where we're literally going to be profiling the characters of the Gooey people who have done portraits, and we've got a bunch of them. And so we're very excited today to introduce you to Captain Catway and Rain Duadra, right? So this is going to be a whole lot of fun. So Camera-Mendy, are you showing some pictures?
I did. I showed the pictures of the con booth, and everyone says it looks fantastic.
Nice, very nice. I can't see chat because Camera-Mendy has me on this Chrome thing, and it's not showing the thing, so I can't see chat right now. So I'm glad everybody likes it. I think
the booth looks amazing. So and hopefully next week when Alphinius is at Dragon Con, hopefully we'll be able to actually do a live from the booth, which will be a lot more impressive than doing a live from his car with his seatbelt on.
But it's just the internet reality, right?
Yes.
This is just the truth, right?
Indeed.
I wish I were magical, really, to the point where I could make the internet work, but that was not possible.
I'm going to keep showing.
This is wonderful. So we've had wonderful cosplayers coming by and all kinds of cool people. We've had some new people join the Gooey Den, which is fantastic. And yesterday was very quiet, and I understand that that's fairly normal at this Comic-Con, that really Saturday and Sunday are the big days. So I'm excited to get in there and meet lots of new people and show them stuff.
I accidentally just showed them a glimpse of the location that we're going to just talk about really quickly while you're on the phone.
Yes. So this is Thundervold that Camera-Mendy is showing. And the interesting thing about Thundervold is because we've been talking about East Verdestia, because we're working on East Verdestia, right? We're making this marvelous continent. We have a number of different localities that are of quite great interest. Now, Thundervold is to the northwest of the Avoda Malu. And the Avoda Malu, of course, is where the last bastion of the High Elves on the face of Zyathé really exists. And they are not the most nicest folk, right? There's a lot of kind of weird stuff going on in the Avoda Malu, and we think that you and your players are going to just love the aspect that these high elves bring. But they also don't get along so good with these dwarves of Thundervold, and Thundervold is very, very strong, very powerful, and they are sort of aligned with the Venzentians and with the Donvinians. And so this Thundervold is actually one of the reasons that some believe that Valandia has stayed their hand yet in terms of attacking Vanzentia. So this is kind of an interesting thing that's going on, with the Ajvindun archipelago being invaded by the Valandians, and that's part of Captain Catway's story. And so we got just a whole lot of fun stuff to talk about as these weeks go by. I also know a number of you, I've asked for your opinions on what we're doing with Goo Morning Zyathé and things we could add and things that we could take away. And if you have thoughts on that regard, you can please private message Camera-Mendy or private message me. We'd love to hear your thoughts for sure. So we're having a good time doing this. I think the show today is great. I think you're going to love AJ. I think you're going to love a little bit about Nordrukka. We obviously are continuing our readings in the Ventenium Alanax. So let us go forward, and we will we will wish you a most marvelous rest of your day. Sorry that we had to pre-record it, but for obvious reasons, we're at the con. But next week, hopefully, right,
Alphinius,
cameraman?
Can I ask you some questions from the chat?
Of course. Yes, I'm here for you.
Okay, so Corey wants to know, is there a deep road to Thundervold from Gluvok Stronghold?
Yeah, so the Gluvok Stronghold and the folks of Thundervold, in our minds, Corey, they get along pretty good, all right? And they sort of don't like these dwarves and others who sort of dominate this place underneath Valandia, which is called the Aether Deep. And so there's some real conflicts in the oh my goodness gracious, my telephone is ringing. Hold on a moment.
You didn't mute your phone?
Yes, look, my phone is ringing. That's just a mess, right? This is unbelievable. They probably want me in the con because the mic is probably getting blown up by people who want to talk about Gooey Cube stuff. But yes, Corey, you are spot on. And in fact, like I said, Valandia is right at the border there, and there's a lot of tension, but they have not invaded. And some believe that between the relationship with Donvin and the Thundervold thing that's going on there between Gluvok and Vanzentia, that really is helping to stay the Valandians' hand. So this of course gives you as a game master this marvelous tension that is going on at the border and these pretty vile Valandians and what's going on with them. But it also gives you some interesting tension between the elves of the Avoda Malu and these marvelous dwarves of Thundervold. So there's a lot of in the stew, so to speak, for you to cook with, as it were. Yes.
The stew for you to cook with. I like that. Okay. Yes. Well, I'm just letting everyone know this is the only time we're going to have Alphinius live for this particular day of Goo Morning Zyathé. So Marcus wants to know, did Alphinius try using his hat to help amplify the internet signal? Yes, if Alphinius had been wearing a hat like a proper wizard, perhaps we'd be inside the con right now.
Marcus, let me tell you, we talk a lot about this hat in this upcoming pre-recorded session.
It is true.
So there's a little bit of banter about this hat. It is beautiful, by the way. It is a marvelous hat. If I was going to wear a hat, I'd wear that hat. But Camera Mandy has already worn it. It actually went down to her nose. So you'll actually see a picture of that as we do this pre-recording, right? The time warp kind of thing, yes?
Mm-hmm. Anyway. Well,
Marcus, thank you. Thank you, truly. It was a marvelous gift.
We're going to go ahead and switch over to the pre-recorded section where we go into marvelous detail about all the things Alphinius has detailed here. Anything else you have to say before we head out?
No, my friends. No more questions, cameraman, anything like that?
Just a lot of support for you wearing the hat. So
yes, I know your hatters are ubiquitous, yes, so to speak.
I appreciate you guys so much. So anyway, okay. Well, thank you guys all so much. Thanks, Alphinius, for joining us from your car with your seatbelt. I'm glad that you're being safe.
That's what I do. I keep safe. Yes, that's what I do.
I'll be dropping by, I think, the con later today, so we'll take some really great pictures with Alphinius in the booth. But
yes, and if we can sneak out and do something, we might even do a Facebook Live later today. We'll just kind of see how the things are going. The internet is problematic, so we just got to deal with that as best as we can. But I really hope you love the show today. I think it's really good. There's lots of good lore and information, and for those of you who've already given us good comments and feedback on the material, it's been wonderful. Camera Mandy, I'm really getting a number of folks who have saying we need to use a boom mic in the studio. So we need to really think about that, so we don't have to wear mics and we can maybe get the sound quality pretty much perfect going forward. So I know we got ambient noise issues. Well, you and I can figure that out.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Alphinius. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right, everyone have a marvelous day. May all your adventures be sticky. Ha! Here I am, friends! I have teleported here to my study from Comic-Con. Okay, that's not really true. I was here already because this is pre-recorded. That's why I'm on the Twitch stream from Comic-Con. Yes, that's what I am doing. Say hello, Camera Mandy.
Hello.
Yes. We are having a good time at Comic-Con, I think, because I'm recording this before we go to Comic-Con.
We have no idea, for real.
This is some kind of time warp. I remember doing the time warp. Yes, that thing. All right, hello, my friends. It is good to see you. Marvelous to have you. Welcome to Goo Morning, Zyathé. Yes, our wonderful Saturday morning show that is better than cartoons.
You've already said welcome.
Well, I say welcome again.
You said welcome at the Comic-Con.
But Camera Mandy, it is before Comic-Con, so I have to Do you want me to stop and redo this?
No. This is all staying in.
We can begin again.
Everyone is loving this. I can already tell. I can read the future. Everyone's loving all of our mistakes.
Yes, we can read the future. Mama Zola, hello. Yes, remember this, Camera Mandy. We must show the beautiful winged mouse that we have a name for, or winged rat that we have a name for. It's everybody loves it, and Mama Zola made this for us. Yes, it's marvelous. Yes, more to talk about. But anyway, let us continue on with the beginning of the stream now.
I'm going to go to another gift that we have gotten. I'm going to switch over.
Yes, Marcus.
Marcus sent us just the most gorgeous hat that we've ever seen.
Camera Mandy has said that I look like a drunken Victorian today because I don't have my vest because they took it to Comic-Con.
I mean, you know what would help is if you wore the hat.
I am not going to put the hat on.
The hat would make you feel
here's
really
the way it's
put
going
together.
to work. You know, if I ever put on a hat, it's going to be for charity. We're going to raise a lot of money for, children or something like that. That's what we will do. Yes, because that is the way I will put on a hat. Right? Same way I'll shave my head. I'll shave my head and put on a hat. Yes, if we're making money for kids.
Indeed.
Anyway, listen. So Marcus, thank you. It is marvelous. It is a beautiful, most amazing, incredible hat. And I was right there tempted to put that thing on the old balding pate. Yes, but I did not. Because I must hold out against you hatters.
Be honest. Did you just try it on? Did you just?
If it was not seen, it was not happening.
Oh, okay.
Aha! Yes.
I'm curious to see if it would fit you. It did not, as we saw from the picture here, it did not fit me.
No, it came right down into Camera Mandy's nose.
I know,
right?
I was
In fact,
so
you have nostril on it.
This hat is so beautiful. I love it so much. It's my favorite colors. It's gorgeous. But you know what? It's awesome. It's going to sit up here on our. The rest of Alphinius' costume is unfortunately gone. Normally that.
Yes, this is why I look like a drunk Victorian, right?
It's at the con. It's currently at the con. So normally that nice.
You don't know what's in this cup. Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about more things from the Gooey Den this week.
All right, listen, my friends. First, Marcus, again, thank you. We're having so much fun with you and really enjoying this banter, so to speak. Yes, it's marvelous. Yeah. So go ahead, cameraman. We can put that back up. This is so we've been receiving stuff, and tell us a little bit about these real quick, and I'll jump in. Yes?
Okay. Well, people, we really appreciate it when you post pictures of your merch in the Gooey Den. It just fills us with joy to know that you're getting your stuff, that it's looking good, and that Allie and Elle are doing a great job getting everything shipped off.
Yes, well, folks, you don't know, but it's like hundreds of boxes, and we didn't plan on doing this interim ship, but we just, there's so much, and we wanted to get stuff in people's hands, and it wasn't too bad on the postage, we spent it, and we're happy we did, and so we're putting this stuff out there for people to see, and who are these two from, Camera Mandy, because I can't quite read it.
Nessa and Crystal.
Yes, Nessa and Crystal, thank you, both for posting that, and there were others who put up stuff as well. I can't remember who. Jacob put up stuff, and I think Chris did, and goodness gracious, Pam did. I mean, there's a lot of folks who put up their pictures of stuff, and I guess we'll see more as we send them out this week too, because a bunch of boxes went out today, so that is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we absolutely we love that you guys are getting your stuff and that you're loving it. So, speaking of stuffs,
yes, look at that stack, and that was only one of the two. Did you know that, Camera Mandy? That was
I know. So now, since we in the past just did a live from the con, you will have seen probably a lot of this merchandise in that video that you shot that was in the past.
Yes,
but also
the video you just watched that is in the future that we are in the past. Yes.
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 So all this stuff is made for the convention circuits that we're now going on. So
yeah, we're really excited. We're at Comic-Con, of course, this weekend here in Colorado Springs. Then we jump right onto it and we go to Dragon Con. Looking forward to seeing all you crazy dragon people out there. Goodness gracious. I think Todd's going to be there. I think Keith's going to be there. Ronnie's going to be there, and Randy, and oh goodness gracious, so many of you we're looking forward to seeing at Dragon Con, which is going to be really marvelous. It's 5 crazy days. I don't don't know if y'all know this, but it's like one of the longest conventions that exists, right? They start like on Thursday, they go all the way through Labor Day on Monday. It's just crazy.
You guys are gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, it's a great convention, and we're so looking forward to seeing so many of our friends who are going to be there. So there's going to be a lot of fun in Atlanta. Yes,
and that's coming up next weekend.
That's next weekend. Yes, we go right into it, and then 2 weeks, of course, and then we're at Gen Con, and that is very exciting because we have a lot of people RSVPing. We're gonna be sending out information about the party on Friday night. So if you haven't RSVP'd and you're coming, make sure you do, because that's how we're getting the count for the people who are showing up, and also the sizes for shirts, because we're bringing everybody who comes to the party, we're bringing them a free t-shirt. Yes. And other things as well. Harry supposedly is bringing some stuff. Yes. Harry.
Yes.
He's another hatter. He's the one who came up. Where is the damn bonnet? Oh, there it is. Yes. He came up with this thing, cameraman D. Yes, that thing right there. It is an abomination.
Thing of beauty. So, speaking of flower crowns. No, sorry.
Flower
Transition
crowns,
here.
yes.
So this is me.
Oh, yes, at the Ren Fair, yes.
No one ever gets to see me on the show. But I bought this awesome dragon staff. I wanted to show it off on the show. So, based on a name that my sister came up with, based on a name that James in the Gooey Den came off with, we named it Renee. Like
nice.
Renaissance Festival. So anyway, okay, next up. Okay, so check this out. This is from Michelle. She posted these stickers. This is from the Uncanny Pros. Elle, who is our shipping genius and does so much stuff for Gooey Cube, she designed all these little stickers, and just wanted to take a minute to give her some love.
Yeah, those are great. And thank you, Michelle, for your support for the, we got some great streams. We got these wonderful Uncanny Pros people, and they do wonderful stuff. I think they just got rated, by the way. I heard that from Lawrence, so that's pretty exciting. And of course we got the Crazy Misfits with James and Matt and Pamela, and oh goodness gracious, it's just a great group. And then we've got wonderful Dan, and he's doing his crazy stuff, and they got a great group that's streaming, and there's others too. And we've got Elias, who's down there in Central America, and we've got Ben, who's doing stuff. In fact, I think he's getting recorded on the 9th, even though he's not doing his stream right now. I think he's going to start it again. So anyway, there's just lots of folks who are doing this, and it's exciting to see our gooey world out there in these streams.
Well, and what's cool about this little chibis here, the little pieces of art, is they're all based on our pre-generated characters.
Yes.
And it's something that's really special that the streamers bring to our, like James, I know too, has had art based on that, which we showed during his interview. I think it was the second week of Goo Morning, Zyathé. But all this was art that was based on our races and our characters. It's really awesome.
Yeah, no, they're starting. I mean, people are getting excited, about the races that we are made, and I tell you, Corey and I and a few others have been working really hard on sort of this new sort of race thing, right? That has different characteristics, right? Rather than sort of you just get plus on this or minus on that, right? And we're pretty excited about how, what it means to have iron blood, right? Or stone skin, right? And not speaking about the spell. I'm speaking about what it means in terms of if you are dwarf or Gorund, for example, and you happen to have those things, what does that mean, right? And so we're sort of putting this together. And we're working on the Inzandra Oz, right, who are the mechanical beings that were created by the Eterns, which fascinatingly, they are the only people on the face of the planet that do not view the woe of ruin as, some terrible thing, because the woe of ruin was actually their liberation day, right? Ooh. So the Inzandra Oz, who were basically enslaved by the Eterns, they were made by the Eterns to be their servants, right? They were actually freed because of the woe of ruin. So there's a wonderful lore around them, and then what flows through them is this Zytherium, which is this sort of silvery white glowing material, right? That is very magically enhanced and focused, right? It's got a lot of Zyanthus kind of running through it, and people want it. So the poor Inzandra Oz are hunted for their blood. Yes, terrible, wonderful, marvelous. What a great thing for a character.
I know. I wish I had some photos to show while he was talking about all this.
We'll bring them up. We got all kinds of things to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I just love the lore of Gooey Cube. Okay. So next up from the Gooey Den, we have a poll going on.
Yes.
So we've had some awesome art from the Fairy coming out. And so Alphinius wants your guys' opinions on what he should do next.
Yes, and I think is Scroogan. I think Scroogan and Ginnyfink. Not Ginnyfink. We did Ginnyfink. Scroogan and Bogeman are Scroogan or Bogeman are leading the way. I think in terms of, at least they were last time I looked.
Scroogan, Bogeman.
Bogeman.
Yes. They both have 15. Something with nasty pointing teeth has 11.
Yeah, that's Rob. He did some crazy thing up there. You know, I think he was a rabbit from Monty Python, right?
Okay, yes. Listen, you can find all this stuff at Facebook at Gooey Game Master's Den of Enlightenment. We have just like so much fun.
It's a great group, you know, and we are fortunate to have such a wonderful community. You know what, cameraman, I do want to say something about our community while you got that up there anyway, right? Is how amazing and creative our community is. And these wonderful things that people post, right? And I read, I've said this many times, I read virtually everything that folks put up there. And I am not alone. Others read as well, you know. And you read this stuff and you read their tales that they have put up and you're like, wow, this is marvelous, right? And what is happening too is that we are slowly beginning to have tales of our characters that are the portraits that our people have made. And we're going to talk about a couple of those characters here in a moment. But we're still on the den. Yes, we're doing this. Yes, go ahead.
We have one more thing from the den before we get into all this. Okay, so basically, Casey posted this little sneak preview of.
This is Fools Down. Yes, Fools Down. Go ahead.
I'm gonna actually show. Well, I'm going to let Alphinius, he just took a sip. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to actually show a video. We're basically going to just...
Now, this is Conan Drews, though, that you're about to show, which is fine, yes, right? So this is another game of that we play, right, with the deck of Perilous Fortuity. It's called Conan Drews. And it's sort of like, in our world, Polish poker, but it's got its own sort of nuances, and it's really, it's great fun. When Casey and Tanya came to visit with us with Josh and Kaya, we actually sat around and played quite a bit of Conan Drews, and it was really enjoyable, really, really fun.
Okay, so, but are they both played with the same deck?
They are, yes. All of these games that we are coming out with, and actually Corey has another one, which, you know, because people are starting to look at this 65 card deck with, you know, 5 wild cards and this interesting fool card and 5 face cards instead of 3 and no aces, right? And they're starting to think, whoa, this could be a cool game this way, right? So we're very excited about that. The production on those cards is really beginning in earnest now. We've gotten enough proof sets. We've looked at them enough that we're pretty confident that we don't have any errors or problems. So those are going out to be produced here very soon. And of course, there's the one deck that we did, which is the limited edition deck, which is sort of this monotone, sort of old school kind of faded one. And then there is the wonderful, you know, black on black, which is just the colors and the imagery is so stunning. And so the limited edition, right, we're only doing a small number of those, and once they're done, they're done. And I think anybody who was a gold backer or above got a free deck, I think is how it worked in the Kickstarter. So I treasure those because they hopefully the deck of Perilous Fortuity will become popular, and someone down the road will say, goodness gracious, how'd you get that? And you'll be like, let me put it on eBay. Like William Shatner's toupee.
That's funny. Anyway, this video, I'm scrolling through it right now. It's going to be posted on our YouTube coming up here, so that way you guys have a good idea of how to play Conan Drews. So, so next up, though, let's talk about some Gooey portraits.
So we are very excited about this thing that we are doing, right? And I've mentioned that we're, you know, closing in, or I still haven't counted, but closing in or over the top of like 100 character portraits that our wonderful Gooey friends have done. And basically we take a character description and, you know, what they look like and who they are and all that kind of stuff. And we take a picture of the person, right? So you know, Alphinius looks like Kim, right? Because Kim's the real guy, right? So
who's Kim?
Never mind, that guy, he's gone in the time warp.
In this studio, there's no such person.
There is never Kim. Yes, never. Anyway, go back to Red. So this is Chris, and Chris has this marvelous character named Ren Duadra. And Ren is an explorer and actually has an essay in the Weirded World, Volume 2 of Encyclopedia Zyathé, which is called Westfordestia. And so when you go in there, you'll be able to read about Ren. But also, as we move into some of our materials like the Gloomport or like the Dark and Haven box set, or perhaps even some of these published materials that we do, like the Red Star Rising, right? You may find that all of a sudden you run up against and meet this wonderful Rain Duadra. And so there's lore and tale behind that character, and you'll be able to take that character as a game master and bring that character to your party and work with them. In terms of having these folks brought to life. And we have lots of them, and we're excited that they keep coming. In fact, we just started working on Jason's, we just finished Todd's, and we're showing Captain Catway today as well, which is right here. This is AJ's marvelous Captain Catway. So apparently this is a character that AJ has lots of history with, and I think Chris's as well. I think Rain has been around as well. But Captain Catway, we took some liberties, which ended up working out great, because Captain Catway has this fleet called the Blood Fleet, and the Blood Fleet was sort of ostensibly based out of the Ajvindun Archipelago, but it was sort of a mercenary band, right? It's not some military that's owned by some country or nation, right? Similar to any mercenary company that's working, for a nation state or a sovereignty or something like that. So anyway, what's wonderful about Captain Catway is that Captain Catway is now embroiled in the conflict in East Verdestia between the Valandians and the Ajvindun Archipelago. And so there's a wonderful tale around Captain Catway and what's going on there. And it's really fun stuff. And I think as we do this more and more, and we have more of our own people, their characters coming and being a part of this, this is going to be a lot of fun. And Captain Catway, by the way, is blood touched, right? Which is why
I couldn't have told.
Yes, why the captain looks like a cat and also sort of assumed this name, right? So there's a lot of history around the captain, and we're excited to hear Captain Catway's tales and Rain Duadra's tales as the time goes forward.
Awesome.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah. So the last thing we have in our introduction section is our Gooey art here, which we're about to switch over to.
Yes, this is a great piece that we got recently. Can you zoom in just a little bit, Camera Mandy?
I can't.
Oh, you can't do it? Okay,
on this
that's
one.
fine. Don't worry about it.
I can. Hold on.
Oh, you can? Okay.
I have something I can do.
Anyway, just because it's such a wonderful piece, and I went to one of our Kishore, one of our artists, and I said, my friend, I really want a healer, just doing so. Now you can kind of move around a little bit, cameraman, and just you can see the glowing that's coming off as the healing is happening. You can see, sort of her face and how she's looking at this poor person who has been so terribly, grievously harmed, and it's just full of life to me. It's just got this wonderful.
Emotive.
Yeah, it's very, very emotive. And Kishore and I actually went back and forth quite a bit talking about it, because we had a first draft that wasn't quite there, but because we were really trying to capture this feeling, right? And so I'm really incredibly pleased with it. And that's a piece of art that we will be putting in the Cyclopedia Magica, not the Cyclopedia Religica, which we are hopefully going to do in the future. All right. So that is our we're called the Healer, yes,
Awesome.
Which is marvelous, yes.
Okay, well, next up, I think is your read. What?
Next up, yes. I whispered because you said next up, so I was like, next up.
Next up, I know. I think it's the reading.
As you want me to do the Ventenium Alunax
Yes.
next? Yes, okay.
I think that's the next thing that we have to do.
So, my friends, we've been reading the lore of the history of the Eterniverse and the world of Zyathé. And we have learned about Avova, right, the dreamer of the first dream, who spoke into being the way of all things, and of course created the Zyathus and infused it along with the four elements into the void which began the great making, right? That was the tale. And then it moved forward, and we learned about how the gods were made and how, the Eterniverse was constructed, and then how we got to this place where the life world of Zyathé was created, right? And then we learned about consternation amongst the gods, and we learned about a secret, about a flow that was outside, if you will, or buried deep within the Zyathus, which was a flow that was not originally of the creator's making. It was called the nether flow. And this flow was actually going away from the creator and taking power from the creator and giving it to the four lords of corruption who had appeared early on in the making of the Eterniverse. And so what happened as we move forward is those same lords of corruption encouraged the gods of evil to go against the gods of good and the gods of neutrality. And the creator was sleeping and there was terrible war and gods died and it was all, it was really rough, right? And then, of course, we had this creator, Avova, awaken. And we had this terrible battle between the creator and between those 4 lords of corruption. And in the end, realizing that Avova could not succeed against them, he did kind of a sneaky thing. He put himself into the Zyathés, tapping its power along with his own power, which enabled him to trap the 4 lords of corruption in the never place, yes? And also at that point, caused himself to merge with that Zyathés and to disappear entirely from the living world, the living thing, right, that was out there. So it was a terrible thing. The gods wailed, but in the end, the world was freed and creation was renewed. But there was this one little thing, right, which was in the depths of the world, right, far beneath the surface, right? This is what we read last time. These strange leathery eggs appeared. And things began to claw their way out from inside of those leathery eggs. And it says, what emerged from those dank and vile cocoons were onyx-skinned terrors of slime and sharp teeth and muscle and menace, with great intelligence behind shining eyes. These had no history in the great making, and were not of the hand of Avova, nor of any of the gods. The Thu'ul had been born. Yeah. And some of you who've been paying attention in the den have seen that we have put up some pictures of the Thu'ul, which I am quite pleased with at this point.
We also did it on our first episode of Good Morning, Zyathé.
Yes, we did. And in fact, that reminds me, we've got, Camera Mandy, we haven't done the vote, the final vote for the best meme, the best Thu'ul meme. We got 10 finalists. We got to put them up.
This is something we have to do. Get on that.
Next week, we'll do it next week. So the next chapter is called The New Dawn. And it came to pass that the gods blessed their charges in ways they had never done before. Their enhanced powers, received at the passing of the Maker, gave them abilities far beyond that of their former selves. With renewed determination, the gods of goodness and neutrality set about restoring the creation in the world of Zyathé. The gods of evil, however, still filled with anger at their brothers and sisters, did little to assist beyond providing blessings and gifts to their own worshippers. Though all the gods recalled their engines of destruction to their home planes, they did not destroy them. And while each of the constructs had been damaged in the war, only one of the Zyathé had been harmed beyond repair. This the gods of good buried on the northwestern continent of Zyathé, deep below the surface of the world. And lo and behold, the plains were restored to their former glory, and Zyathé was renewed. As time passed, the planet began to blossom again, and though scars from the great conflict would remain, the majesty of the Maker's life world returned to much of what it had been before. In the centuries that followed, Zyathé bloomed like it had not since the dawn of creation. Its peoples prospered under the watchful care of their gods and enjoyed much good fortune. In this time, most of the high races from all habitats and locales lived in harmony. Rudimentary trade routes were established. These were to the benefit of all as communities began to flourish and expand. Even the races that followed the evil gods thrived during this time of prosperity. For though the gods of evil were unwilling to help in restoring Zyathé, they did grant boons and favors to these races as the balance allowed. These races had long lived on the harsher lands and in the deep caverns and cathedrals far below the surface of Zyathé, in the Underdelve, which is called the Zyandun. And much like the high races, trade was established and alliances formed that saw these peoples flourish.
And it came to pass that the high races that followed goodness and neutrality came together again to form nations. Magnificent cities were constructed, and within these were made inspiring edifices, wondrous buildings, and majestic temples dedicated to the gods. Great halls of learning were established to help further knowledge and wisdom among the peoples, and as the societies burgeoned, the races once again delved into learning the secrets of the Zyathés. The peoples of this time were of a strong and dedicated mind. They studied as none had before them, and as their knowledge increased, the ones who channeled the everflow found great power therein, enabling them to shape the world around them in ways that no mortal had ever achieved. And thus began the rise of the Etheric civilization. Yes, it would take some millennia, my friends, but this was the beginning. Yes, and the next chapter we will read is called The Ethern Arise. Ha-ha! Cameraman, are you liking this lore?
I do. I will point out that we are at episode 10, and that's the first time you've had to say "excuse me" in the middle of a reading.
Oh, well, I'm doing my best.
Two and a half months, though. That's pretty impressive.
You know what it is? It's because I'm drinking what's in this cup.
Oh, is that? Anyway. Speaking of churches made for gods, we do have two gods this week to discuss.
Yes.
Let's go into them. This is.
Yes, Wardain, right? Who is the guardian? Yes, this is the lawful good god who is a patron of
goodly knights and cavaliers.
Yes, paladins, egalitons. Even you don't remember in the world of Zyathé, it's not the same that you have to be like you can't respect a god who is like lawful good, even though you are neutral good, right? This is not the way it is, right? And so even the gods of good, right, the lawful good, understand and respect the gods of evil. They may not like them, but they respect them, yes? And so this is the idea behind it. So this is the wonderful, I think, way we are doing this, and it enables much more broad perspective and much more interesting and deeper characters than just, I follow this god, that's the way it is, right? So Wardain, marvelous. You should look it up in the Encyclopedia Zyatheka Volume 1 and see all about what Wardain is and the churches and all of that stuff.
And then next up is Zendraka.
Zendraka, yes. The true speaker. Yes, is that correct, Cameramendi?
Goddess
Yes,
of truth and honor in all words and deeds.
Yes.
By the way, I am holding the Weirded World Encyclopedia Zyatheka, which is why I am able to just...
Yes, and she has like all things marked in it. It's like Cameramendi has been born anew, and suddenly she is doing research.
It's like book club.
It's the book club, yes. So Zendraka is also the patron of the good dragons. Yes, so Zendraka was part of that whole cabal of gods that created the draconic beings in the beginning. And we're going to talk much of dragons in times to come. We are very excited about sort of our take on dragons in the world of Zyathé, and there's some things based in good lore that has been around for a long time, and some is sort of our own stuff. So we're excited about that. Zendraka is marvelous. She is not just worshipped by dragons, right? She is worshipped by people and individuals and groups, and so it is really marvelous. If you have a chance, go check her out in the Weirded World, which Camera Mandy just put up there. So. Yeah. All right. What's next, my friend?
All of this stuff is really easily spelled out. Oh, and then on top of that, the other thing I like is that, I'm sorry, I switched back to when Alphinius was taking us. But if you're playing one of our races in Weirded World, I believe that they have listed under the races which gods they might be particularly inclined to.
Yes. But there is no limitation, right?
Absolutely.
Anybody you want, right? We don't have sort of races that are inherently evil or inherently good, right? It's just, we sort of...
But I mean, with a list of like 70-something gods, it's nice to have like a few picked out.
Yes, well, that's true, right? I think it's nice to sort of have, these are my 5 or 6, and this is my main squeeze, right? That's kind of a fun thing, to have it go that way, so.
Absolutely. Okay, so this is really... something.
Yeah, everybody liked this a lot, So I must tell you the truth. This is not our original art. I have admired for a long time, and I think many of you may have seen this, right? In in perhaps images that you were looking at when you looked up troll or something like that on the internet. Well, I've seen this many, many times, and I've often thought what a wonderful fey creature it would be, and I happened to finally notice that the creature was actually available as a stock image from a stock image company.
This is a stock image?
Yeah. Oh, well, not the whole thing. No.
I was about to say, because
so bear with me. I'm sorry, cameraman is so hot in here. Can you? Must do something like turn up the air conditioner.
You wouldn't even know because it's on the Ginnyfink right now. Alphinius was just sweating.
Yeah, wiping my face. Yes, it's sweating. Yes, I'm the drunken Victorian who is now sweating. The sweaty drunken Victorian.
You look like Mr. Darcy when he's like 30 years older.
Mr. Darcy, 30 years older. Yeah, great. I am drunk. I am sort of slovenly.
Really
yes, drunk, slovenly, sweaty, and old. Right? This is not good.
I mean, those are none of the things I would use to describe Mr. Darcy, but okay.
All right, go back to the Ginnyfink.
Yes, the Ginnyfink. Back to.
We've been making these interesting fey creatures that are part of the Feyari sort of experience, and I just loved this image, and I found that it was available and that we could actually purchase it. And then I sent it to one of our artists, and I said, "Hey, listen, let's make this. Let's color this creature up because it was sort of in black and white, and let's put this creature in a forest and make the forest a little creepy."
We call it the gooey flare.
Yeah. So this is the end result, and I'm extraordinarily pleased. I really am excited to see how the Fey courts sort of come out, as we work on these, like we noted, right, the Skrugan, or we work on the red caps, or we work on the Pulks, right, or these various creatures that are traditionally associated with the Feyari, with the fairy, if you will, right? And then
I was a little sad to find out that this was a monster portrait because I want to interact with this.
Well, it's a mischievous, right? It is part of the Feyari, right? So it is a very mischievous thing. And this one, because it is from the Unseelies, it tends to be a little more cruel, is probably a fair way to say it, right? But this is in Zyathé. There is not necessarily everything is evil or everything is good just because they look a certain way, right? That's not the way it is. Yeah. So there is certainly room to play with Ginnyfinks at a host of different levels, and I'm excited that we have begun down this path.
I love that. Okay, next up.
So this is Corey started pushing on me a little bit and said, "Listen, I need this Merc crystal golem construct kind of thing, right?" And of course, we talked about this quite a long time ago here about what could you do with Merc crystal, which is the substance that forms the Du'un Sara Sea in Sundestia. And so
hold on. Let's do that one more time. But
the Merc crystal sea. You want to show it? Du'un Sara Sea, full of Merc crystal.
1 second.
Yes, here she is. She is zooming in. Yes.
We're transitioning over.
We are transitioning to Sundestia. Well done. Yes, Cameramendi, you are really quick on the draw.
This is our new thing that we're trying to do is help people orient. So you're talking about the stuff that is harvested from this portion of Sundestia.
Yes, that is correct. So this is the Du'un Sara, and I mentioned it I think last week. Yes. So this is where the Komari tribes, and sorry I'm a little perspiry, but the Komari tribes really claim this almost entirely for their own. And the Komari tribes are not necessarily a race of people because they actually have quite a few of our new fire race in them. They have Sundestian humans, but they also have a number of other interesting characters, right, as part of their tribes. But they claim this entire Du'un Sara for themselves. Now, that doesn't mean they keep it for themselves, but they claim it, right? So this Merc crystal is a substance that is made, it looks kind of like sand, right? But a very, very fine sand and very, very light, almost like snow, right? If you could throw snow, but it acts much more like water. And so we have talked for a long time about what it might be like if we were to create, constructs and those kinds of things. And then Corey had this thing going on where he really needed one for some of the stuff that he's doing. And so we went forth and created this. It's the most recent monster artwork that I've received. So normally I show stuff that's been around for a while, but I wanted to put this one up today, and I really like it. Right now it's called the Merc Garland. We haven't statted it or anything, but I hope you like it. I think it's very cool.
It's made up of the same substance as
it is.
Okay, that is so
correct.
cool.
Yes.
But is it located in Sudestia, or can you come across it in
So
other
if
places?
someone can get enough Merc crystal, they can make this thing anywhere, at least as far as we know. We do not think it is going to be elemental-like, although there is some discussion that because of the unique characteristics of the Merc crystal, that perhaps it could be some type of elemental-type creature. So this is part of the, as we move forward, this is part of the discussions, right? How do we build this lore? And of course, the wonderful thing about this is we're having help from so many of our wonderful friends and writers in our group and creators, and that's another thing, Camera Mandy. While we're doing this, since we're pre-recording, I'm going to ask this question because a friend of mine who's in this group, who's marvelous, so I won't say his name because I'm pushing on him to try to take the lead on it. So I'm not gonna put him out there and have him say I don't think I can do it because I'm too busy in my life. But there was some discussion around doing like we do the Writers Guild, doing an Artists Guild. And so if that is interesting to people who are watching, and you think that'd be fun for you, wouldn't mind put up a little, hey, that sounds great, kind of thing. And we'll see if maybe we can get that organized, because the writers group has gone great. There's anywhere from 5-6 people at the low end to 15 to 20 people on the high end that show up on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock, and they talk about character building, and they talk about, subjects and predicates, not that much, but a little bit of that kind of stuff.
I have something I can show.
Oh, what do you have? Yes, we're going to show something, yeah.
Here we go.
Yes, to find more about the Gooey Contributors. No, this is the Contributors Guild.
Oh, wait. No, we're talking about the Writers Guild. I have something else. I have something for
Yes, I think Camera Mandy is...
Discord.
Oh,
Discord.
yes, there it is.
This is the one that I meant. I'm sorry. I fail all the time, guys.
Yes, not all the time, but sometimes. Yes.
Okay.
Anyway, that the Gooey Game Masters Den of Enlightenment is the Facebook, but we also have the Discord, right? And that is where the Writers Guild meets. And Kaya and Jens and James sort of head that thing up. And Kaya just had a baby. Congratulations! Yay! Very
Kaya,
cute. If you haven't seen, very
Kaya was
adorable.
on our very first show. So think about this. She was here 2.5, because we're on episode 10, 2.5
Yes.
months ago, and now the little baby's here. That's
Yes,
awesome.
and her little tummy was sticking out, but it was sticking out a lot more 2.5 months later, let me tell you, right? Oh, well, we are very happy. It was marvelous.
That is
So Josh and
exciting.
Kaya, yes, congratulations. Wonderful thing.
Okay, so next up, we are actually going to discuss the Myruun.
Aha! So
Okay.
Camera Mandy wanted to do this. So as we've sort of done, but of course now there was a surprise that I think a lot of people didn't expect. We have the 4 elemental sort of associated races, right? We have the Myruun, which we are talking about today, who are associated with water. We have the Sarth, who are ostensibly associated with fire. We have the Gorund, who are ostensibly associated with earth and stone. And we have the marvelous Aetherian people, who are ostensibly, supposedly associated with wind, yes? So the Myruun are those people that were associated with water. When we talk about the Sarth, it's going to be interesting because, in truth, they are probably not the true fire race. So
We have already spoken about this.
have did we show the fire race and all that stuff?
We have, but maybe we need to go back and redo that.
I don't think we showed the fire race at all.
We've done the Sarth.
I know we talked about the Sarth. We didn't.
The
but we didn't talk
fire.
about
Okay.
yes. We only talked about that. We mentioned it, but we didn't show it.
I
But
see.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Let's continue on.
Yes.
So when we talk about these Myruun, so the Myruun are interesting because they have some racial things that they can do, like hold their breath a little longer than most, and their hair is not really fine. It is more coarse, and they tend to use tattoos extensively upon their bodies, and they have uncanny sense when it comes to water, right? And that's why they make great navigators and these kinds of things. And so the Myruun, the wonderful thing about the Myruun is that they are kind of a unique race that is unique to Zyathé. And we didn't do things like give them gills and all that kind of stuff because we felt like that was done before. But they will have powers and certain capabilities, like Camera Mandy was showing that first picture, which is the Acquaesson. And the Acquaesson is one of the unique classes to the Myruun. And they really have a command over water and using water and all of that stuff. And so as we're working on Magicka, this is one of those new classes that we are putting forward. So the Myruun are about 5 foot tall or so. They are often mistakenly called sea dwarves, which a lot of them don't like to hear because they're not dwarves at all. They actually survived the War of Ruin in some great arcs. There is at least one Myruun city that floats upon the waves somewhere out there, although there's said to be at least one more that that people don't really know where it is, right? Because it moves. And so we're excited about, as we move forward with that, showing one of those cities and making that part of our thing. But I think the Myruun are going to be a wonderful race of people, and they'll have interesting classes to play. And I think a lot of folks already enjoy them. In fact, I almost put up Christie's portrait today and Father Jiki's because we were doing Myruun, but maybe we'll do them next week because both Christie and Geeky had their characters in the world of Zyathé be Myruun.
They are awesome portraits.
Yeah, they really are fantastic.
Okay, well, that's the Myruun for you, I guess. Yeah. Okay, well, next up, and I'm actually excited that we finally did this because we've been saying we were going to do the Myruun for like 6 weeks in a row now. But next up, we are actually going to bring Gooey AJ on our camera.
Nice.
So I'm going to do this cool transition here. I'm going to transition to this hat.
Transition to the hat. Yes.
And when we come back, AJ will be in the studio.
Ha-ha! Ha-ha! AJ is brought out of the hat like a rabbit. Yes, say hello, AJ.
Hello.
I'm proud of you for not saying hello, AJ, right? Like Howard did last week. Did you even watch Howard the Math Guy?
I don't think I caught last
you need to look at that. He was pretty good. I think a lot of people some people said they want him to come back like on a regular basis because he was talking about all the math about these various TTRPGs, right?
Right.
So it was pretty fun. So all right, so my friends, I'll introduce AJ, then let him talk a little bit. But AJ was like one of the first, right? He was one of the first ever, right? That showed up around here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always back.
Yeah. Your brother said, "Hey, my brother writes fantasy and plays these games, right?" That's kind of what happened.
Yeah, kind of a chain of people. Yeah, I know him. Oh, yeah, I know him. And
then you showed up around here, and then we started making world, right? That's craziness when I think about it. Anyway, so AJ is steeped in the lore. He knows, as much about Zyathé, maybe more than I do, because I'm getting old, right? So I don't remember as many things as I used to. That's what it feels like to me. So AJ, we're gonna take them on this we're taking them on this world tour right now, right? Mm-hmm. So, Camera Mendy, you want to take us to the map, and we'll let AJ kind of talk about the continents, and then we're going to end up at Nordrukka. So go ahead, Dr. AJ, and I will pretend like I am that guy John Madden. Whenever I'll go like boom or like hey or whatever, that kind of thing. Yeah.
All right.
So where are you going to start, Camera Mendy?
Okay, why don't we just start? Is this one of the continents here?
Why don't you start all the way go to the right?
The right.
Right okay. There. This is up. That is Estrenia. Go ahead there. You.
So this is probably our biggest by land size, and it's inspired by Asian and Eastern cultures. You have a real gigantic empire there on the western half.
Yeah, very cool.
And then you have some nomadic tribes, including a lot of the Athir over in the east.
And we have the island. If you go all the way to the furthest east there, Camera Mendy, there's Ogamajai, right? This was what we talked about. So we were going to actually have a home for these
for Oni.
The Oni. Yes. So this is So tell us a little bit about that, right?
So they're kind of isolated there, but they have big plans.
They do have big plans.
A combination of an ogre and magic is no good at all. So they're looking to expand out.
Yes, they can squash you like a bug and then use prestidigitation to clean you up, right?
Right. Yeah, get you off their boots. Yeah.
Am I on the right island here?
It's the bigger one. It's down below. Yes, but there's actually, if you read a little bit in the Weirded World, right? There's a little bit of tale about this, right? There's just a touch of tale about the Ogamajai, right? But there's also, if you go a little bit to the west now, straight over there, yes, you see the purple. When we talk about Estrenia, we have a marvelous piece of artwork of that mountain. It's called the Jade Mountain, yes?
Yeah,
flowstone, right?
That's one of the major sources of flowstone in the world.
Yes, there, the Unsara Sea, yes?
Right.
And a couple of other places.
Yes. They're scattered around, but that's one of the big ones.
Yeah, that's why Estrenia is not as frustrated as other countries might be about the Unsara, right? Because of what they have going on there, right? All right, so we're going south now, and there's this other big continent there on the east side with all the mountains and the little desert north and all that. So that's right. Nope, not that one. Go to the yes, that one, Camera Mendy. Yes, perfect. Go ahead, DJ.
So this is Zustrania, and you've got jungles and deserts and things. It's and this is the home of the Sarth, who kind of retreated here before the woe. They're pretty interesting folk in their own right.
Yes.
Being, unable to cast arcane magics. But culturally, this area is, inspired by kind of South America and some other influences like that.
We want to take the lore of you all know this, right? Because this is what we're doing with our marvelous Sundestia group, which I'm hoping to have on here one of these days again. We, because AJ, you're part of that, right?
Yeah.
But marvelous Stefan, who is our sort of our leader in that, with all of his background, and Anthony and Nick and Devin and you and Chris, it's just a great group, and really building in these wonderful feelings of Africa and India and Egypt sort of into this Sundestian feel. Yeah.
Right, mythology from all over, not just a European focus.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is this guy?
We are talking about this Kamramendi. This is the tour of the world, not the tour of the localities.
I understand. It's just that it looks like a wizard with a hat.
No, Kamramendi.
I'm sorry, we're not even really focusing here. Okay, so we've already talked about Sundestia. Let's just keep on our tour here.
Yeah, so that is Resplanzia there in the center. Did you see that, the purple one there? So that is, yes.
Crooks is
now it's Crooks,
known,
yeah.
right?
So why is it purple? Like, why does purple cross over?
So this was kind of the center of the world for a few thousand years. This is where the Ethernic civilization had their core, and where many of their high magics were located in particular. So when the Woe of Ruin came and that all came crashing down, it kind of obliterated this place and left it totally corrupted.
It's creepy. It's
real
not
creepy.
just destroyed, it's creepy, right?
There's mutated,
yeah,
all kinds of...
It's like Doom, right? What was that other one? Where the virus? What was that one? I can't remember what that one was. Yeah, but anyway, there's a host of those kinds of games, right? Where what was that one with Alice? Wasn't it Alice who was in that one? Wasn't it? Anyway, I can't remember. Maybe that was Doom.
Focus on Zyathé.
Sorry, Zyathé. Yeah. So then we did Sundestia right there, and we actually talked about that quite a bit last week.
And then up here.
Then up here, of course, we have Verdestia, which has kind of been our focus so far. It's where the Red Star Rising's happening and everything. And it certainly didn't escape the Woe of Ruin. It got split in two there when everything came crashing down. And,
because really that was all dry land for the most part in the center. Yes, might have been lakes or rivers or stuff like that.
Sure,
but this was the lowlands, and when it got broke, the water came in and formed Leviathan Bay, which is that huge bay in the west.
Shrouded Sea. Yeah.
Yes. And the four nations around Leviathan Bay, yes, which are kind of fun, right?
Right. Yeah, they definitely have some cool
Where's this
history.
at?
So you see the big bay, Kamramendi, right there in the middle, right? You have it perfect. You see that bay with the little teeth on either side, yes? The little mountainy islands in the center?
Yes.
That is Leviathan Bay.
Oh.
Yeah, they started to recover fairly early on, but then had some political disagreements and stuff, started splitting apart, and some disagreements with dragons and the like.
Ooh,
there was lots of issues. Yes, issues.
This is not our conversation for today.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
I'm slowly leading us. Oh, what? This is our conversation for today.
This is, yes.
Yes, this is Nordrukka. Nordrukka is the historical continent of the Arachnoids, and
their homeland, although they've spread, of course.
Yes, and Gargantua, yes.
Right, to the giants and ogres and their kind.
Okay, well, let's dive deeper into this cool place.
Oh, we're diving deeper.
Here we are, Nordrukka.
Yes, look, now you can see the words. This is a really deep dive right now.
Well, we were getting to the rest of it. But yes, Nordrukka is the name, and this is how it's spelt, and it's like Greenland.
It is a lot like Greenland, yes. That was, and there is agriculture there, although the warlords would prefer to take stuff, right, than to
or have other people do the manual labor for them.
Yes, they're not too kind to non-Arachnoids, right? It's not their thing, right? And they were the ones that came across and attacked Kalanta, right, in Verdestia.
And they founded
Magdranog. Yes.
Yep. Although,
see how I rescued you right there?
You did.
That? Yeah. Yes.
Not the first time they did it, though.
No, it's been before, yes.
So, where's Magdranog at? Isn't that in West Verdestia?
Yes, that is correct. So if you go to your west,
okay,
and high up.
Okay.
West. You're east. There you go, camera.
I'm
Mandy.
just doing the
Almost.
best I can.
Yes. A little more. Down a little bit. Up a little bit. There you go. Yes, that is it. It is on the northwestern area of the continent, and that was what Kalanta, right?
It was the Kingdom of Kalanta, yes.
Yes, that sovereignty that was there, and they. It was a pretty good tale you wrote. I'm going to give you some credit for that. That was a great tale, and then of course Jim Kenny took that and really danced.
It out.
He danced with Magdranog, and what is exciting about Magdranog is, and I don't want to get too into Magdranog because we're talking about Nordrukka, but Magdranog is sort of the Arakanide Renaissance, right?
Right, kind of getting off their home continent and interacting with others a lot more. They're forming like a proper kingdom rather than all these warring factions you have back on Nordrukka. So there's some interesting stuff going on for them there.
Okay.
Yes, now the Nordrukkans are also, the Arakanaids of Nordrukka are kind of pushing their way towards Estrenia both ways, right?
Right. Well, they're always looking to expand. So.
Estrenia's.
Yes, way over there. Do you see how there's almost a land bridge that goes across right in the middle up there in the north? You see that, Camera Mendy?
Yeah. Okay.
So that string of islands that goes across, they are actually coming up against the Saowaun Empire. And there's a lot of really interesting tension going on there. But also the other way, right, because obviously this is a round thing, right? This is Zyathé, the world is not flat, right?
Nope.
It is not square. It is a round ball. Yes. So they are coming from the western shores, right, to the eastern shores also, and so even the Ogre Magi have had some trouble with the Arakanoids, right? So those warlords don't mess around. So let's go back to Nordrukka again there, and you can start showing some of your pictures. If
Are we
want.
ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can do it. So the Arakanoids, we need to understand that they are very primitive, very warlike, right? This is their thing, right?
Yeah, it's definitely the first thought on their mind usually is how to get what they want through violence.
Yes, conquest, right? They are very, very fiery, so to speak, right? They're pretty casty, right? A caste type system in their world, right? They right. The goblins kind of get the short end of the stick, kind of kicked around a little bit.
Right. Although it's sort of a strange balance between a strict caste system and sort of a meritocracy.
Right.
It's if you're really strong enough, they'll respect you, but if you're not, you're definitely getting pushed around.
It's hard to be the weakling, right?
Yeah.
I ask for one heroic story of the goblin named Goobly Duke.
Goobly Duke?
I don't know.
A goblin named
I'm just saying.
All right, it is going to be canon. Goobly Duke, the goblin, is going to show up. I don't know where, but make sure we put it down, AJ.
Oh, okay.
Goobly Duke, the goblin, is going to be the heroic story. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Sounds terrible, actually. I am Goobly Duke. I shall destroy you. So this is an example of an Arakanoid city right here, which you can kind of see.
Can I ask, because I sometimes get lost in the terminology. So the Arakanoid. Is this like, so we have Nordrukka, and then what is Arakanoid?
So Arakanoid's kind of your overall term for orcs, goblins.
Okay, so it's like
bugbears.
it's like the people who live there.
Yes, but it's the race of people, right? So they live other places as well, right? And do you want...
Like we're all humans, but we are Americans. So
yes, that's fair. So they are Nordrukkans, but they are also Arakanoids for the most part. But you might find some humans on Nordrukka, right? And certainly there are certain humans that trade with them, right? You just got to be careful, right?
Right. So, I mean, basically there's kind of a group of races that are all kind of more closely aligned than with other races. They, have the same creator gods and stuff. You might call them greenskins, although that might be seen as sort of a derogatory term for them.
I'm sure that they wouldn't like it very much, right? And they would take your axe, and bash you in the head, right, for it. But it's like calling the Hanatas the Shizat, right? It's the same little thing, right?
But your orcs, goblins, bugbears, that sort of thing are all Arakanoids.
Yes. So, Cameron, she has some here. So you're going to look here. So these are the orcs, right? So these are our original, some of our concept art for what the orcs look like, and we did take a fairly traditional, traditional direction with the Arakanoids. We didn't want to just totally deviate and go off the deep end, right? So there's, we grabbed some artwork to show, have a little fun with some artwork that is stock artwork. Actually, it's not artwork that we made, but I really enjoyed that. I liked that piece of stock and thought we'd bring it up. So it was fun to kind of give you the idea, the savagery of the Arachnoids, right? And then when you get to contrast that with all that's going on in former Kalanta, which is now Magdronal, right?
Yeah.
So it was really quite exciting. I really like that image there, Cameramendi. I think that's a great looking stock artwork. Again, it's not something we created. So then bugbears. Tell us about bugbears.
But this is something that this is art.
Yes, this is our art. Yes, this is our art now. So tell us about the bugbears a little bit.
So bugbears are kind of interesting in that they're pretty big and strong, even a little bigger usually than orcs, but they kind of have a sneaky streak.
Yeah, sneaky.
They like to stay out of sight and hit you over the back of the head instead of in the face.
I literally love this lady.
Isn't she great?
Bugbear.
Yes,
I'm just going to say, yeah. Oh my goodness.
And you can't zoom in on that one, right? You can't.
I can.
Okay, yeah, she's just really good. I mean, this is
badass.
Yeah, this is Igor who did this concept art for us and helped us to create the Arachnoids. And the interesting thing about the bugbears, right? And we wanted to give more racial diversity, right? This was our goal, right? So the bugbears can actually cross mate with the Gurun, yes?
Right, yeah.
Yes, and create the Ba'aguru, right? Or something. Is that what it is, Ba'aguru? Or is that the Arachnoid, right? I can't remember. But anyway, we got names for them all, and they are able to cross-pollinate, so to speak.
With
right?
who?
The bugbears can actually crossbreed with the Gurund.
Well, the orcs can too, right?
And the orcs can too, right?
And so there's some.
And that's the Oraguru. I think I've got this right. This Ba'aguru
so.
and the Oraguru.
Yeah.
Yes, Not as old as we might seem, eh? So this is half orcs. Yeah. So now this is important. We went a different way with half orcs, right? So we've got elves, right?
Well, you've got your orc elf mix and then your human orc mix, and they can kind of result in a little bit different kinds of folks, but
yes, right, because you could even have a dark elf, right, mixed with, right?
You can have wood elves or high elves or dark elves, and so that can have a whole bunch of different kinds of outcomes with that.
Yes, which is marvelous. It's really wonderful, and of course, so we have this sort of half orc, and this is sort of the generic half orc because we didn't want to try to draw every sort of different one that's there. But I think she's really fantastic too. She got great shoulders. You see that she knock you around.
Yeah.
Yes? Bugbears attacking. Yes, this is what this is. Yes. So this is actually from one of our tales. I won't say which to avoid spoilers. But these are some bugbears. They are not sneaking.
Wow, they're done sneaking now. They're attacking.
Yeah, right. They're done with the sneak. But it's a great piece of art, to show your folks. So, all right. And this is Hub Goblins. Yes. So tell about the Hub Goblins a little bit. Will you do that, Agent?
So they're another one of the Arachnoid races. You might say somewhere kind of between orcs and goblins in stature and stuff. They tend to have it together pretty well, a little more organized and stuff, mixing the brute and the thinking. So.
Right. We wanted to do a little more traditional with these, right? So we went a little bit to the traditional Arachnoids with this, of course, except the exception being that they're certainly not, as any kind of a group, they're not inherently evil at all. So I really scroll back in there on this guy. I think this guy's, he doesn't get the credit he's due. He's kind of scrawny, right? But look at that face.
I love his nose.
Yeah, isn't he great? His nose is great. His eyes are great. He's got those braids coming down. He's just very, very cool. He's got a little curiosity. I like that guy.
It's our hero.
He's a little guy that he is. He's like, yes, they have to think their way out of a lot of things because they are too little. Even though he's got kind of good shoulders himself. You see that?
You still wouldn't really want to scrap
it.
No. But better than an orc anyway.
So the goblins are sort of the low end of the food chain, right? And there's camera Mandy totally blowing the transition.
I'm sorry, but I don't...
Yeah, look at this guy. Look at that guy right there. He's in your face.
I just
they
feel
definitely
like
have the teeth, yeah.
Goblins deserve more credit than they're given.
Who says they don't give credit?
I feel like in a lot of things, they're just the lowest of the low.
No, kobolds.
Okay, well that's fair. That is fair.
Well, to their credit, these Arachnoid invasions come down to these other continents over the thousands of years, goblins have been able to kind of spread and stay on the continents better than the orcs are, because they're more clever, sneakier, you know. So they manage to stick around in the forest and stuff, where the orcs tend to get driven back out. So
goblin hero out there.
At least one.
What's his name?
I can't remember. Goblin Duke?
Yeah, we're going to look that up, because I didn't take a note. So this is going to be canon now. You know?
Oh my
I think I'll do a song. Mogladuke, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever, cameraman.
Okay, well, is there anything else you want to tell us about this awesome continent?
So Nordrukka is really the where the Arachnoids kind of got pushed, right? They got pushed there, and they're not really happy about it, right? They feel like they got marginalized, right?
I mean, they kind of started there, but it's a really harsh climate and stuff. You know, they're having a lot harder time just scraping by compared to some of the much nicer lands around, and it's a much smaller continent than some of the others. So obviously they wanted to kind of expand and claim that, but everywhere they go, partly through their own actions, partly through
they're not the nicest of peoples all the time, but
the prejudice and stuff. Everyone kind of tries to keep them contained. Right. So
although in the Republic there is that Snorgren, right, which is the town up north, which is where all the Arachnoids sort of deserted, who went against Magdranog and the warlords of Nordrukka, and they actually live there, right? So
where's this at?
It's in northern Verdestia, right? In West Verdestia, in the north. That's East Verdestia, Kamramandi. West, east, so...
I don't have a compass on here. I don't know. Or maybe I do.
Let me think
Am
about
I
that,
lying?
west and east.
No.
Look down in the bottom right-hand corner, yes.
Okay, fair.
But Kamramandi, on every map, west and east is the same direction.
I know. The thing is, we live in Colorado, and west is for mountains.
Oh, so that's why you're all screwed up right now.
There's mountains all over. Yeah.
What am I
There's mountains. It's got to be the west. It is just south of the Silvershine River, which is formed the borderland between the Vile Desolation and the Republic. But there's this secret, right, that I think we have talked a little bit about, that supposedly there is some talk that there is a secret society that is actually made up of certain Arachnoids and certain humans and perhaps other races as well, some elves and other folks from the Republic, who have come together because they believe that the Vile Desolation is the much bigger threat to both of their nations, right? So,
well, the wars between the two have certainly given the undead plenty of bodies.
Yeah, there's plenty of fodder to make fodder, right, or something like that. So anyway, so this is the tale, right? So the Nordrukkans have definitely spread towards the western shores and eastern shores of Estrenia, so you will definitely find Arachnoids there. You will find them down in Zustrenia. You will also find them in the Sundestian lands, and so there is a presence of Arachnoid on virtually every continent. Yes. Even the snow aurochs, right? The snow, right? They wear white cloaks, right, made of
hunting polar bears or whatever.
Polar Orsoon.
Yeah,
those big guys, right? And then those walruses, walrus, right? That's what he has with the long, jaggedy things.
We're going off the rails.
Oh, sorry, going off the rails. My bad. Yes, okay. So, Cameramendi, is that a good coverage of sort of Nordrukka? So we didn't want orcs just sort of hanging out in the mountains for 40 years, having lots of orc babies and then running out like a big horde every 40 years. We kind of felt like that had been done a few times. And so we really wanted to establish a much different thing with the Arachnoids and make them much more part of the world and part of the culture. And the culture of the world, that is. They have their own cultures, obviously. But that was sort of our goal, and we think it came out pretty good. It's a pretty good part of the tale, yes. And is there not something in, when we eventually do get to Kalanta, which is now Magdranog, right? There is that Kondazug, right? The old mysterious college of wizardry that was there, and something deep below that the Arachnoids have apparently discovered.
Yeah. Never know what they'll get up to with that.
Now, I got to ask you a question, and then we'll be done. Do you think it is more possible, just because we haven't defined this lore, so I just want to see what you think.
Sure.
Is it more possible that the Arachnoids of Magdranog will come into conflict with the Republic, or is it more possible that they would come into conflict with Magdranog? Excuse me, with Nordrukka. Magdranog, conflict with Republic, Magdranog, conflict with Nordrukka.
That's a hard one.
Because it's possible, right? It could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, there's some chieftains back in Nordrukka that want what Magdranog has.
Yes, Kurnesh has kind of suddenly become probably the most powerful of all the warlords, right?
So they may want to come down and take that, but kind of by the same token, Magdranog, kind of just the nature of their politics, maybe they want to go back and take the homeland. So that certainly seems like a strong possibility, but there's such a deep enmity between the Republic and Magdranog. Who knows? Maybe both.
Yeah, right. Of course, with the vile desolation sitting right in the middle. Yeah, so we'll see about that. All right, my friends. That is the tour. Is that anything else we got?
I'm just going to ask you guys, since I have you both here, what are you guys writing right now?
Well, you can tell. You know, I know.
We're a few different things going right now, but East Verdestia is kind of the big one right at the moment.
Well, we just finished Menace in the Mist, and that's being literally going to press, right? It's being printed. And we finished the printed copy of Dark Tide's Night and the printed copy of what was the other one? The webs, the Gooey Webs. We did that was a interim thing that was put together, and Casey helped with that. And
Gooey Holidays coming along.
Gooey Holiday is about ready to go to get laid out in final, right?
Yep.
So that's there. And then we move to Chapter 5, right? That is the next... Yeah, exciting. Yes, very, very exciting.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, and of course you've seen, right, we got the artworks. We started, we're on map 3 of the Gloomport now, which is very exciting, right? And map 5 of Darken Haven. So we keep pushing it up.
Definitely coming along.
Well, it's because of our marvelous friends, right? We got
contributors.
So much talent, right? And
Ooh, watch what I can do here.
what? Oh, there it is, the contributors thing. You finally got it in the right place, cameraman. Yes.
Nobody can see me, but I'm dancing behind.
Yeah, she's dancing. She's doing that little, this little thing.
A jig.
It's the jig, yes, and all that stuff. All right. Okay. So, my friends, is that Camera Mandy? Is that all we are doing today, except for sort of a little announcements and that kind of thing?
Yeah, we are done for that.
All right. I hope our time was not too bad.
I think that we're going to go over a little bit, but it's...
We are always over. Sorry, my friends. Anyway, so listen. So AJ's part of the Den. He doesn't talk a whole lot because he's not a big talker, but he's a great writer, and really we are thankful that we have AJ along with lots of other folks, right? Because you don't know it, but our marvelous friend Keith is writing Legends, Lore, and Libations, and he and I have been spending some time, and we've got James and James who are working right now on the Witch's Wrath. And John just finished The Menace in the Mist. He was the one who was responsible for that, and it's really a great tale. It's got some great artwork with it. So all of those things are getting pushed forward. The Deck of Perilous Fortuity is about to go out to be printed, and we're really excited about and scared about the next couple of months to try to get all of this done and try to be shipping it in November. But we're going to give it our all, my friends. We're going to give it our all.
Here's what I'm gonna just say. These two guys do a crap ton of writing, and they're really great at it. But it's really special that we have contributors with different voices and different thoughts and different stories to bring to the world, because it creates such a rich... just think about what we just saw with the Arachnoids, and how different everything was and all the thought out culture and everything like that went into it. So, thank you, contributors.
No, truth. We are blessed to have the community that we have. All right, so listen. So I'm about to head out, go to Comic-Con. Stand behind the booth until about 9 o'clock tonight. Then I'm going to get up tomorrow morning and do the live segment that we talked about earlier in this that hasn't been done yet. The Time Warp, yes. So we'll do that, and then next weekend we'll be going down to Dragon Con, which you've already told everybody about, right? We're going to Dragon Con, and then 2 weeks after that, right? We're going to Gen Con. Yes, it's going to be crazy.
Meet AJ at Gen Con.
Yeah, AJ's going to, we're all going, lots of us are going to Gen Con, right?
Oh, yes, lots of us.
Yeah, you're going, AJ, right?
I think so.
Yes, and Elle is going, and Ali is going, right? So, Cameramendi, of course. Colt will be down there, right, with us, and Riley, Gooey Riley will be there.
Crew. Yep.
Yeah, this will be fun.
We're going to have a
Should be
really
lot of
great
fun.
time.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So come join us, and don't forget party on Friday. But RSVP if you want to get the shirt, right? So you got to RSVP, and we'll make a shirt for you in your size, right? So if you want to do that for the party on Friday night, it's going to be, we think, from 7 to 10 on Friday night, and you'll get some free food and maybe a free libation or two, right? Probably not more than that. You'll have to buy your own if we go past maybe one or two, right? Because that's your thing, right? And then let me think what else. We've got obviously the wonderful stuff, Alexander and Casey, and goodness gracious, so many of our game masters are doing so many things, right, to get us ready for the Gen Con events. We have, Zane's going to do stuff, and Pam, and goodness gracious, there's I think 18 people or something that are Matt, going to be running games and doing the Dungeon of Doom Nix and Conan Drews and I think Nick is going to be dealing Fools Down and Harry's going to be doing stuff. I mean, we just to all of you, thank you so much for making Gen Con's going to be special, and we're really really excited about that. So then in terms of the Kickstarter, obviously we're getting close to being done. We'll ship the last packages, I believe, next week. And then all of the interim shipments will be done. So anybody who's sort of waiting, if you haven't sort of seen an email sort of by the end of next week, we need to hear from you, because it means something happened and we got to fix that and make sure that there wasn't a problem. Let me think what else.
We are short on time, so we should.
All right, contributors, we're about to do the next round. I just need to talk to Jens about some things that are going on with Darkenhaven, and based on what he says, I think it's going to make the final decision on the next contributors round, all right? So that is all that we got, right? Cameraman, anything else we needed to cover?
That is all.
Then, my friends, we will wish you a most marvelous rest of your Saturday, and may all your adventures
be sticky.
like that. Ha ha!